For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson. Comedian Godfrey would become the latest comedian to sit down with Shannon Sharpe on the Club Shay Shay podcast. The two would discuss the recent spotlight that has been put on black comedy beefs over the last few months, and during their conversation, Godfrey would touch on how it seems like very few black comedians support one another and are victims of the crabs in a barrel mentality that seems to have affected black comedy. After talking about a general lack of support, Godfrey wouldn't hesitate to mention the few comedians that do support each other, including Michael Blackston and D.L. Hughley.
We are f***ed up to each other. I'm not saying there are pockets of comics that do help each other. Let me not, because then they'll be like, man, how you gonna say that about the old black? It's the truth. We don't help each other. Even on social media, motherfuckers won't like your shit to help you. D.L. Hughley does that shit for me all the time. If your videos are great, he'll put it on his platform. D.L. always looks out. Man, likes my shit. Michael Blackston will like my shit sometimes. Little things here and there.
I guess he ain't put mine up because I'm Wendy Williams with a weight set, so he ain't putting
You're Wendy Williams with a weight set?
Yeah.
Now, if you're not familiar, D.L. Hughley's name has been mentioned a few times on Club Shay Shay, and not in the most flattering manner. Monique would have a few choice words as her rivalry with Hughley has been personal the last few years. This would result in Hughley engaging in a small back and forth with Sharpe after he criticized Club Shay Shay for its content, even calling Sharpe Wendy Williams with a weight set, referring to all of the gossip that takes place on the podcast. When Godfrey praised Hughley for liking, sharing, and supporting some of his social media videos, Hughley would repost the clip on his own social media. His caption read, "That's two solid 8 dudes that have been on the show and vouched for me. If you've followed me for even a little while, you know I post and give love to as many people as I can. I could give a dang about a blue check or who's trending. Funny, insightful, talented people will always get love. I probably post more people that aren't mainstream than anything. And it doesn't stop on social media. I end up meeting a lot of them in person and even giving them time on stage. Ask around." That being said, it's called showing love because that's exactly what it is, and that's how it's received. I can't get down with this recent trend of who can on this thing of ours the most for the most views. There's way too many hilarious, insanely talented, funny people out here that are unsung and have never received their flowers for us to be focused on slinging dirt. How about we start using these platforms to speak the names of those who deserve their shine instead? Several comedians would then hop in Hughley's comments to show their support, and some would even express their gratitude for Hughley, all while confirming Godfrey's story. Comedian Rye Funches would comment and write, "I can vouch, you showed love to me when you didn't need to, and I appreciate." Comedian Teray would agree by writing, "The whole reason I'm over 100K followers is because D.L. Hughley reposts my stuff. He is always moving like a true king." Some other social media users would criticize Hughley for coming at Sharpe in his platform, even stating that his gripe should be with the comedians who had negative things to say about him. One user on social media would write, "The problem is DL conflates the intentional slander from platforms like the Wendy Williams, Tasha K, etc., and guests who go on the show and personally decide to throw shade. Remember that the Cat Williams who gave DL his flowers during his interview is the same person who on several other folks in that same interview. That wasn't Shannon. And prior to that episode, Shannon had Cedric, Ricky Smiley, Steve, etc. So I really don't know how this narrative about Shannon Sharpe got built, because he really only had 2 controversial interviews, Monique and Cat Williams. The rest of his interviews were neutral. The issue is DL displaced his anger and frustration with Monique in her interview toward Shannon Sharpe. And that is unfortunate because DL's comments are not reflective of reality, but more reflective of his frustration with what was said about him by Monique. But what do you guys think of DL's latest response to Shannon Sharpe? Let us know in the comments below. Stay up to date with the latest news and comedy by subscribing here to our YouTube channel. Check out Hype Market for all your cool and original merchandise. And for our YouTube viewers, if you like this story, send us a super thanks by hitting the button below, and you can tip us what you want to show your support. For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.